Good evening, Boob Tube, and sorry if the volume's a little low tonight, but the wife is sleeping upstairs, and I don't want to wake her up because I don't want to get yelled at. So, um, the Leafs played in Calgary last night as part of this ongoing Western swing through Canada, and unfortunately, I didn't get to watch the game because I was over at my buddy Simon's house playing the original GI Joe for NES, which I never had as a kid, but he's got this machine where you can download all sorts of shit. And I've always wanted to play that game because I love GI Joe, as you may know by now. And I was gassed all day long. I'm so exhausted, and now it's midnight, and I'm having a nice cup of coffee. So, just to stay awake for the sake of doing this video, and maybe playing some games after, anyways. But looking at the highlights, the Leafs looked like the better team from everything I watched. They opened the scoring in the first period. Tavares roofed one high blocker side on Riddick after a nice behind the back no look pass from behind the net by Marner. It was just a beautiful play all around. That was about 8.5 minutes into the first. Another 8 minutes later, Calgary evened it with on a Hamonic goal. And then in the second period, it was the Tavares and Marner show again, when this time Tavares did the work and got the puck out for Marner, and he made a laser beam shot top corner. So it looked like the Leafs were rolling. They were up 2-1 at the end of the second, and it looked like they were carrying the edge in play. And then the wheels just fell off at the start of the third period. Within the first 3 minutes, Calgary had scored 3 goals and were up 4-2. And the Leafs could just never get it back. They tried, and they had some great chances, but it was just that little lull at the start of the third period cost them the game. The pace was fast. The chances, at both ends, Riddick looked like he played a hell of a game, which was probably part of the problem why the Leafs could only put up a 2-spot. But at the other end, too, Anderson was really good and made some really good saves. And the goals they scored on him, like a couple of them were in really tight top corner. One of them was a tip in front. So, there was not much he could do about it other than get lucky and just be in front of it by accident, right? So, it's too bad they let that 2-1 lead slip away from them, and they couldn't at least drag it to overtime, and they went down 4-2 like that. But they're still evolving under Keefe's new leadership now, and I hope we'll treat this as a learning lesson, the whole 60 minutes, right? Because all they did was take the foot off the gas for 3 minutes, and it cost them the game, right? So the guys that stood out to me in the highlights were Marner and Tavares. Marner has had a really funny start to the year this year after signing the big contract. I don't know if he's trying to do too much or whatever, but he hasn't had the type of season he's had for the past few years for the Leafs to start his career. And then he had that injury where he was out for 3 weeks, something like that. And then when he got back, it's taken him a while to get back into the swing of things, but maybe, hopefully, last night's a sign of the real Mitch Marner is coming back to the forefront here. So encouraging to get those two guys going, and it's too bad nobody else could get it going. But I mean, Matthews had lots of chances. Nylander had some chances. I'm not sure how the lower lines did, but yeah, it is what it is. They take what they can from it, I suppose, and move on. And they got Edmonton on Saturday night, which will be a really fun game because they're both young, fast teams, and anytime Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and those guys and Draisaitl are all playing together in the same game, it's always a pretty exciting affair. So we'll see what happens Saturday. Hopefully they can get back in the win column and make this swing a success. So until then,